Okay, we are live. Oops. How about that? Okay, we are live. One second here. There we go. And we'll adjust the gain here. Sorry, folks. So I had the another session tonight, and I had my mic all screwed up. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon muser this evening. Tonight, you are finding me at the end of a close to 4-hour session playing Adventure Conqueror King with a buddy. But I wanted to post a quick video for day 3 of the RPG a Day event. For those unfamiliar with this event, this is a annual kind of event, I guess, that my level of articulation is quite low this evening. I actually forgot to set my mic a little higher. Give me a second here, folks. Let's see if I can set this up while I'm live. So there we go. That's a little better. So what this is a exercise where every day in the month of August we post we answer a different question by posting a different video or posting a blog entry to respond to a specific question. And today's question happens to be what gives a game staying power? Now, for this year's participation, I am keeping my entries to 10 minutes, so no more. Or at least trying to. So I'm going to keep this a very quick answer. As a framing device, I'm going to say that when I'm answering this question, I'm assuming what it's asking is giving a game staying power in terms of your party still, or your group still wanting to keep playing the game, and not what keeps it in print for a long time. So what I think gives a game staying power at the table. I've been thinking about this a bit the last couple of days, and I think that what the beyond a good narrative hook, which is what the DM kind of brings to the table. I think what gives players investment in a game is when there are ways of seeing, like specific ways of seeing the characters improve, either in terms of the mechanics on the character sheet, so where they're seeing their characters mechanically getting better over time by gaining levels, by gaining more XP, by getting new picks as they gain levels, or alternatively by seeing specific improvements in the game or in the actual fiction itself, where they're getting richer, they're getting better gear, they're getting better ships or things like that. I'm thinking that the two extremes of that are things like Pathfinder and Starfinder, where every level you get to make new mechanical choices for your character. Or at the extreme other end is things like Traveler, where you don't gain Mongoose's Traveler. I'm thinking of specifically where you're not getting XP or experience or skill points or whatever else as you're going up, as you're playing throughout the game. You're just accumulating, in theory, more things for those characters, like newer ships, more crew members, things like that. When characters can build on a foundation, whether it's in game or in on their character sheet, those are the things I think that give long-term investment. At least that's what I've seen from my players. When there is something that they have to work towards, that's something that keeps them going. Now, in terms of the DM, though, I think that the thing that for me gives something staying power is when the mechanics function at all levels. And what do I mean by that is that there are certain games that have a dice mechanic, or have certain levels of abilities that work very, very well at low levels or at mid levels, but then kind of break down where if you play the game as written, it doesn't replicate the fiction the way that it did before. Games I'm thinking of that are like that are the Iron Kingdoms role-playing game. It functions very, very well for the first half of the character advancement, up to 150 XP. But past that, it kind of breaks down, and you really do have to fudge the dice a little bit to make the game still, the fiction work the same way it has been. Otherwise, characters become overpowered. So that's a problem. And I did find that with the Star Wars, Fantasy Flight Star Wars games too. At high XP, I found that the game was breaking down a bit. You couldn't just you certainly couldn't run it as written. And even when you tried to fudge things, it got a little wonky. I love the narrative dice mechanic that comes with that game, but at high XP with big dice pools, it ends up being really unpredictable as to what's actually happening. And that may be a feature, not a bug of that particular game, but it did make for a different play experience at higher level than it did at lower level. Now, there are games like D&D or Pathfinder where that's also happens, where like what you're playing is a different experience because of your power level. But that's not what we're talking about, or not what I'm talking about. What I mean by a different play experience, mean like a negative play experience. Yeah, so that's what I think from a DM perspective, I look for something that's going to keep me engaged, is where I can keep thinking of the game in the same way without having to start, coming up with house rules to manage the um, the fact that the game doesn't play the way it used to, or with a less generous perspective, that it doesn't function anymore properly at higher levels. So that's what I think gives a game, for me, for my groups, gives games staying power. Tomorrow, what was my most memorable NPC? That's gonna be an easy one to answer, because I'm not sure this is necessarily the most memorable, but it is one that does stand out in my mind. So anyway, that's my answer for day 3. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding this posting or any other of the videos on my channel, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below, or you can shoot me a tweet at Dungeon Musings, or you can shoot me an email at dungeonmusings@gmail.com. So it's all one word, dungeonmusings@gmail.com. Also, you may notice that there is a link in the description of this video below. That is to the charity fundraising campaign that we are currently participating in, called Heroes Save Villages. This is something where we have paired up with the SOS Children's Villages International charity, something that benefits children both in North America and elsewhere. You can click through the link to the campaign to learn more about SOS Children's International, to learn more about the campaign, or to donate if you want. There's some pretty neat rewards that we've got available, both giving you an opportunity to give something to the players, to give them a little extra resource to help them through the travails through which I will be putting them. And if you donate $100 or more, I will happily run a game for you. So, but of course, there's no obligation to contribute. I just ask that you consider clicking through and learning more about it. You can also click through the link below to the video that I shot explaining the reason for the Heroes Save Villages campaign, and a little bit more about my involvement with SOS Children's Villages International. Otherwise, tomorrow I will see you folks for my most memorable NPC. Until then, I hope you have a really terrific long weekend, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.